Hi, I'm Miss Sasha. I'm a teaching artist in the PACE program with the Lafayette Parish school system in Lafayette, Louisiana. Today, we are going to be creating a polar bear in his natural habitat. We're going to use some very simple supplies that I think you can gather from around your house. What you will need is a 7 by 7 piece of white paper. Any white paper will do. A piece of copy paper, 8.5 by 11, a paper with lines on it, anything will do. Some crayons, orange, yellow, some shades of blue, some shades of purple, and a black, a pencil, glue, scissors, a black Sharpie marker. Now is a good time to pause your video in order to gather your supplies. Once you're back, all you have to do is press play. Now that we've gathered all of our supplies, it's time to create our polar bear in his natural habitat. First off, do you know what a habitat is? Any good guesses? It's a natural environment of an animal or a plant. Our polar bear's natural habitat is in the Arctic. The Arctic is a cold area at the top of the earth. It's above the Arctic Circle. It has icy glaciers, Arctic Ocean with sea ice, and tundra, usually flat with little to no trees. Let's get started creating our polar bear's natural habitat. We're going to start with our background, his Arctic environment. So go ahead and grab a blue crayon. Any shade of blue will do. This will be mine. All right. You ready? Perfect. In the middle of our white paper, let's go ahead and draw a line. Notice that our paper is vertical and our line is horizontal. We're going to draw some purple mountains in the background, but we're going to use our blue for a little while, so stay with me. All right, our mountains are going to be like giant triangles. Watch. They go up and then they go down. And this one might start from that one. It doesn't have to be as tall, and it can go off the edge of the paper if you want it to. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and make some snow caps for our mountains. And I just do a wavy line somewhere at the top of my mountain. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and just make some somewhat wavy lines. We're just kind of showing that this is going to be very snowy and icy. That's why we're using lots of cool colors. Cool colors are going to be our blue and our purple. That's going to make our ice look very cold. All right. With your blue, go ahead and make some circles. You can do dots, circles. Remember, our polar bear is going to be in the middle, so you can focus more on your edges. And you can add a few more waves in there. Wavy lines, not waves. How's that? Perfect. When you're all done with that, go ahead and get your purple. Any shade of purple will do. I have like 3 different shades, but if you only have one, that's fine also. So we can go ahead, oops, that's blue. Go ahead and color in your purple mountains. I did one with a dark color, one with a light color. Either one will do. Let's see, yeah. Remember, at any time you can pause the video so that you can get all caught up. And then all you have to do is press play whenever you're ready to start again. I took my dark one and I also added just like a little bit more in there. Whatever you want to do for your mountains is fine. Even if you wanted to put a third little mountain over here, you could do that too. Watch. Great. And using your purple, you can go around some of these dots, these snow. This is kind of looking like our snowdrift, right? I did some purple all around. See that? Perfect. So do you know of some other Arctic animals that you might find in the same area or environment that our polar bear is? Any good guesses out there? Along with the polar bears, you might find reindeers. There's an Arctic fox. You could find walruses or seals, narwhals. I know those are pretty popular right now. Ox, moose, orca whales, even snowy owls can be found in the Arctic. How's your Purple Mountains coming? When you're all done with that, I have a blue that I have broken and peeled the paper off of. I was just going to use this, like if you pinch it, you can use this to kind of color in your snow so that our white polar bear can stand out. I left it white on another page, and then my polar bear just didn't stand out as well. So you can leave it white because they do kind of blend into their environment. So I just wanted to do blue so that you guys could all see what I was doing. So you can do it or not. It doesn't matter. Either way is fine with me. I'll give you a little moment to color in your snow. And while you're doing that, polar bears are carnivores. Do you know what a carnivore is? A carnivore is a meat eater. He eats all meat. He's actually the largest carnivore that lives on land. Seals make up the most of their diet, so they really hunt mostly for seals in and out of the water. They can swim, polar bears, and once they get up to their full weight, they can weigh up to 1,500 pounds. That is huge. That's the male polar bear. The female polar bear probably weighs a little bit less, but that's about as big as a polar bear will get. So you got all your snow colored in with your blue. You know, I want to say too, you can always add in more blue, more purple. It's however you want it to be. There's really no wrong answers to doing this project. We just want to keep it light and fun. So let's go ahead on this example over here. I colored the sky. So even though the sun, even though it's snowy, it can still have a sunny day. So I want to go ahead and use a layering of orange and yellow. So if you go ahead and you kind of color in some orange, I kind of scribbled it in there up between my mountains, just like that. I came back with my yellow and kind of filled it in. You could do all yellow, you could do all orange. It's really whatever you want. You can even use the side of the crayon like we did with the blue. See, like that. So here we go. You might have to peel it. Looks like I used more orange on this one than I did on the other one. That's just to show you that it doesn't really matter. You could put a big sunshine in the sky. You could do a night sky if you wanted to. My students did a night sky. I'll show you. Look. See? This one they did a crescent moon with stars. This is done with oil, crayon, and watercolor paint. And here's our little polar bear. See? So really, the options are wide open. You guys ready? All right, here's a good time to pause the video. Now that we have our background all completed, we can move on to creating our polar bear. So go ahead and grab your square piece of paper. I think mine is 7 by 7, I believe. And I showed you right here, we're going to fold the paper once vertically and once horizontally. Watch. Don't draw those lines in the middle. I just did that to show you where the lines ended up being. Okay, here we go. We're ready to get started. Alrighty, so I did my original one with pencil, but it was really, really hard to see from a distance. So I did this one with Sharpie marker, but I'm going to do this one with a black crayon just to show you there's, whatever you have available is going to work just fine to do this bear. Okay, this one's also done with Sharpies. Okay, so I've got my black crayon. I'm ready to get started. I'm going to move this a little bit so you can really see it. Okay, in the very middle where the crosses meet, I want you to put a little horizontal line. This is going to end up being the triangle for his nose. All right, great. Now we're going to put a letter V. Now we have his nose in the middle of the paper. Okay, we can go ahead and color his nose in. See? Perfect. At the very bottom of that triangle, let's put a little number 1. And then a tiny little horizontal. Now we've made his nose. We're going to put a circle around his nose and his mouth. You can start up here at the cross on your page. Watch. You want to stay close to his nose. Don't do it super big because we're going to save that for his head. Everybody have that circle? Notice my circle is not perfectly round, and that's okay. All right. Ready? Right over here, close to this circle, we're going to put a little circle for one eye, and on this square over here, a circle for the other eye. 2 eyes. Look. See? Great. The next part we're going to do is going to be his head. So we're going to make some dots so that we know how big our circle needs to be. We're going to go right above on this line, above his eyes, maybe about halfway from here to here and put a dot. The same from here to here. See that? The center on the line, put a dot. It's just a little dot. Same on this side, from here to here, mark a dot. And then at the bottom, from here to here, mark a dot. Now, if we drew straight lines, he would have a diamond-shaped head. And we don't want him to have a diamond-shaped head. We want his head to be round. So I'm going to put curved lines that connect the dots. Watch me. Curve, 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 and curve. Now I've made his head. I'll give you a second to do that. Perfect. Let's go ahead and add his ears. His ears are like right above his eyes on the top of his head. It's a curved line and a curved line. And inside of there, just like he has on his little head, we're going to put another curved line, color it in, curved line, color it in. He looks just like this one, doesn't he? We're doing a really good job. Okay. All right, we're going to make his feet. He's got very big feet. He's got 5 toes on his paws. His paws are actually 12 inches in diameter. Diameter is around. So his feet are like huge, right? They act like snowshoes for him to walk across the snow in. And his front paws are rounded and they're partially webbed. So webbed means there's some skin between each of his toes, kind of like a duck. So that gives him better swimming abilities whenever he has to jump in that cold water to go get him a meal of a seal. So his feet are very large. So we're going to do his feet at the bottom of the page. You see, at the bottom. At the bottom in that square, we're going to make a nice horizontal line. Look, it almost takes up the whole space, right? And look, same on this side. I left a space on this side, I left a space in the middle, and I left a space on the left. All right. We're going to do a curved line like a hump. Hump and hump. It says he has 5 toes, but you can put as many as you can fit. No more than 5. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Maybe his other ones are around the edge. If you can fit 5, awesome, do it. But don't put 6. All right? I'll give you a second to do that. And then we're going to add another curved line between his 2 feet. That's going to form the underside of his body, like his belly area, as if he's walking straight towards us. Okay? So watch, we'll do that. See how this little bear right here has that little curved line in the middle? That's what we're going to do right here, from foot to foot. Curve. From foot to foot is a curve. It's kind of hard to believe that a bear that large, 1,500 pounds, can swim. That always surprises me, but I guess their webbed feet make it doable. Okay, let's go ahead and add his body. His body is going to be this part that's curved around. It almost looks like we can't fit it, but we're going to use the whole rest of the page. We're going to add some dots like we did before to do his head. Okay, on the where the paper folds right here, all the way up to the edge, put a tiny little dot. Do the same on the right, a tiny little dot close to the edge of the page, and up here at the top, very, very top. We don't have to put one down here at the bottom because that's where his feet and his chest are. So we're all done with dots down here. Everyone have their dots? Let's make sure. Do you have one on the left, one on the right, and one on the top? Then you're ready to go. All right, from his foot to this dot, we're going to make a straight but diagonal line, or slightly slanted. If yours is straight, that's fine. Watch. Here to here, and here to here. That's his legs. And then his body, we're going to do 2 curved lines, from dot to dot, and from dot to dot. You ready? Here we go. Curve, curve. Look at that. We've made a polar bear. Everybody with me? Perfect. Now that we've drawn our polar bear's body and all of his body parts, we are ready to add his hair. I wanted to show you some of my students' artwork so you can see that the hair is actually done many different ways. And again, there's no wrong answer. Here we go. Look at this one. This one has lots of tiny, tiny little lines. This one's lines are much closer together. And look how big his feet are. These lines are much farther apart. And as you can see, they all look amazing. So let's get started. Get your black crayon. We are not going to put fur on his muzzle. His muzzle is going to be right up in here. We're going to leave that without the fur. Even though, as you can see, he does have fur, but we're going to leave it a little bit less furry. Okay, so here we go. Let's start by adding a little bit of fur to his feet. All it is tiny, like little number 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, little tiny lines that cover his feet. Remember his claws, we already did that. And we did them a little bit darker, so they won't cover up your claws. Go ahead and do your your fur on your feet. Does anyone know what a baby polar bear is called? If you guessed a cub, then you are right. The cubs are born in the winter, and they're only about a pound when they're born, and they don't have a lot of hair on them at all. So the polar bears don't actually hibernate. They call it, they go in their den, and their heart rate and their temperature do not decrease. That ensures that the cub will be able to stay very warm. So unlike the black bear or the brown bear or a grizzly bear, polar bears don't really hibernate. They just go into their den and they take care of their baby until their baby is ready to come out. So they live also, after they're born, they live for about 20 to 30 years. So they have a nice long lifespan. All right, you got your fur on your feet? let's put fur on his ears. Again, it's a little tiny ear, so you just have to put little tiny number ones. Great. Once we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and add fur on his head. Remember, not on his muscle. Let's do it on his head. All right. I can put little, they're kind of like sideways number one. It's almost like a part in the hair. And we're going to go all the way around his head with those tiny little number ones. Just like this guy or this one. Okay? I'll start. Remember, you can always pause the video, get caught up, and then press play again whenever you're ready to go. All right, here we go. I've done this a few times. I've gotten really good at it. Perfect. While you're working, I'll tell you a few more polar bear facts. Let's see. Polar bears have around 42 teeth. That's a lot of teeth. Not sure how many humans have at this point, but we don't have 42. All right. So let's see. Polar bears are very fast. They can run up to 25 miles an hour on land, and they can swim up to 6 miles per hour in the water. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty fast. All right. Are you ready to add hair to his body? We're going to change it up a little bit. Instead of going around, we're going to do it almost like a little sunshine around his head. See? Looks like a little sunshine. But we're going to keep going around and around until he's all filled with fur. Ready? There you go. How's that? While you're working on yours, I have a few more polar bear facts. I'll let you get all caught up. And let's see. The polar bear was the mascot for the 1988 Winter Olympics in Calgary, Canada. That's pretty cool. Let's see. I was going to show you also some other bears so you knew that there could be a difference in changing up your polar bear to doing a black or a brown bear in the forest. Look. See, I did the same thing I did with the polar bear, only I put the black or the brown bear in a forest. I also made a cub, and you too can do that. All you have to do is have a smaller white piece of paper that's square, fold it both ways, and start in the middle, just like we did the polar bear. So see, there are so many options. This isn't a night sky. This is like Vincent van Gogh, his crescent moon. He made his stars glow. You could also do that in the background of the polar bear as well. No wrong answers. Okie dokie. How are we doing on making our polar bear furry? Now that we're all done adding fur to our polar bear, let's go ahead and get him all cut out. Here we go. Look, very carefully take your scissors. I cut on the edge of the black. I don't cut any of my black off. That way it's okay if he has a little bit of a white edge. All right, you can get your glue. Squirt a little glue on the back. If you wanted to make a cub, you could just put your polar bear a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right and add a cub. There we go. Press, press, press. And we have a polar bear in its natural habitat of the Arctic. I want to thank you so much for joining me today to make our polar bear. We'll be posting a new lesson every day at 10 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time for kindergarten, first, and second grade, each tied to an academic curriculum. Some lessons will be in visual arts and some lessons will be in movement. So be sure to come back and make art with us tomorrow. If you're interested in supporting programs like this, you can donate to the Acadiana Center for the Arts, the nonprofit who manages the PACE program, using the link in the description. Help keep our teaching artists working, share our videos, and keep making art.